Hello everybody and welcome to the first video in our series of videos on early Christian Ireland, and in this video we will be looking at what Ireland was like before Christianity and how Christianity arrived to the country. As always, we begin with our learning outcomes. So by the end of this presentation, you guys should know how Christianity came to Ireland, how we know about it, and how it became an established religion. Second, you guys should know two monasteries and the monks associated with them. And third, you guys should know three things that monks did in these monasteries. Up until the time of early Christian Ireland, we kind of divide Ireland up into five distinct ages. We have the Mesolithic or Middle Stone Age, the Neolithic Stone Age, the Bronze Age, the Iron Age, and then we come to the early Christian Ireland age. The Mesolithic age, the Middle Stone Age, is when the first people came to Ireland. They landed in the north around a place called Mount Sandel. They may have come from land bridges, they may have come from canoes. We're not 100% sure. But the first archaeological evidence of people here is at Mount Sandel. They would have lived in houses like this. They would have been hunter-gatherers, which means they would have hunted for food and gathered food. The next stage in the evolution of life in Ireland was the Neolithic age, and this was from around 4000 BCE to 2300 BCE. They would have lived in houses like this, and these were Ireland's first farmers. We know about these people from sites such as Takeda Fields, which is one of the oldest farm systems recorded in Europe. We know that they were settled, that they grew barley, they domesticated animals. They would have buried their dead in tombs like this, dolmens, or particularly famous passage tombs such as Newgrange. Moving on from that, we went to the Bronze Age, which was from about 2300 BCE to 500 BCE, and there was massive advances in technology and weaponry and artistic creations in this age as well. Then we come to the Iron Age, which we mostly associate with the arrival of the Celts. They would have used, they would have had stronger weapons, which helped them to overtake the people who were here. They also would have had their own set of beliefs and gods, but the main god being the Dagda. And the Celts are a fascinating part of history, and unfortunately we don't get a chance to really look at. Remember, when we looked at ancient Rome, we saw that it was Constantine the Great who brought Christianity to the fore of European or Roman culture. He converted to Christianity on his deathbed, and Christianity soon became the official religion of the Roman Empire. So how did it come to Ireland? Well, the Pope sent missionaries. So a missionary is a person sent to spread a religion to a foreign country, and the Pope sent these missionaries to Ireland. Second, Christian Romans from Britain were trading with the Irish. We know there was trade between the two of them, and they would have had a hand in converting people. And finally, some Irish people who would have had contact with British people or also with the continent, like France, would have also converted when coming across this religion. The first recorded holy person that we know of who came to Ireland was a man called Palladius, and he was sent to Ireland as bishop in 431 CEE. However, the most famous person associated with Ireland would be Saint Patrick. Saint Patrick, who is believed to have come to Ireland in 432 CE to start his mission of converting the country to Christianity. What we know about Patrick: he was Welsh. He was captured by Irish raiders when he was 16. He spent 6 years as a slave in Ireland, and while he was there, he had dreams of converting the Irish to God. He finally escaped and later went to France to become a priest, and he returned to Ireland as a missionary and is said to have converted the whole country, is the myth around him. So how do we know so much about St. Patrick? The reason we know so much is St. Patrick wrote an autobiography known as the Confessio, or St. Patrick's Confession. This was the first book ever written in Ireland as far as we can tell. The reason Patrick was so successful was that he was able to convert the ruling class of, or the Derfin of the Celtic society. So as you can see, Celtic society was kind of arranged in a triangle, and at the top you had the Rí, or the king, of the Tuatha, or a kingdom, and then you had the Derfin, which was the royal family, and underneath that you had nobles, warriors, and skilled people known as Aes Danis. So the higher up people in society began to change to Christianity, and then it trickled down from there to the rest of the people. The first monasteries in Ireland were found in the early 6th century. So remember, when we say 6th century, we're talking about the 500s. Some of the first monasteries were at St. Finian's of Clonard. You also had one of the most famous sites, which is St. Kieran's monastery at Clonmacnoise, which can still be visited to this day. Is a fantastic place to go see. You also had St. Brendan of Clonflirt, and you had St. Enda of Aran Islands. Also, it wasn't just men who were finding these monasteries. St. Bridget is associated with the monastery or the abbey found at Kildare. As you can see from this slide here, there were many monasteries found in the early Christian Ireland era. The closest one to us would have been Ferns, also Glendalough, which would be a very famous monastery as well. So what was life like in these monasteries? We'll be looking at this in more detail in a further video, but basically what they would have done is they would have studied the Bible, they would have wrote and studied manuscripts, which are handwritten books, and they also would have produced beautiful works of art using metal work and stone carving. Again, this is something we'll go into greater detail in a later video. So that brings us to the end of our presentation. So by now you guys know how Christianity came to Ireland through Palladius and St. Patrick, how we know about it through St. Patrick's Confession, and how it became an established religion by converting the people at the higher rungs of society within Celtic society. Secondly, you guys know two monasteries and the monks associated with them. I say monks, I probably should have said saints actually. You could have St. Bridget at Kildare, St. Kieran of Clonmacnoise, or any of the monks mentioned above, or saints mentioned above, excuse me. And finally, you should know three things that monks did in monasteries. So the artwork they created, the manuscripts that they wrote, and the studying of the Bible. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys got something good from this video.